This information is for educational purposes only, does not constitute legal advice, and does not create an attorney-client relationship. If you need legal assistance about a legal problem, contact an attorney. You're watching Healthcare Pros Charting Texas, where we break down your medical license risks and regulations in just a few minutes. I'm Simone Murphy, and this is your Friday Focus, brought to you by Know Your Regulator.
And really think about what if this note that I'm writing on this client, even though I'm in a hurry and it's Friday afternoon and I like to get on about my weekend, but what if the licensing board looked at this? Would it have all the elements it's supposed to have? Would they clearly be able to see when it was and who it was and how long it was and what the diagnosis was and what we did? And would somebody who was coming behind me looking at that without me there be able to know all of the things that they're supposed to be able to know from my documentation? And then to get somebody on the phone with you ASAP, an attorney that is highly recommended as being somebody that knows both your profession and the law, because I've had people, who get those letters from the board saying you've got a complaint against you and we need a response in 30 days. And they just sort of put their head in the sand. They're scared, understandably. It's their profession, it's their livelihood on the line. And instead of doing the thing that you would think, which would be to jump on it immediately, they just sort of go into denial mode about it. And then they finally get on the phone with me when there are, 7 days left before the deadline. And there's just not any way that I can do in a week, typically, because I've got other cases and other things going on, the kind of a response that I would be proud of. And so I have to say to those people, look, I would love to represent you, but I can't agree to that right now until we see if we could get an extension. And it's, whether I represent you or not is going to have to be contingent on that. We're going to need another 30 days or 60 days or whatever, I think, depending on how complex the case is. And I think, gosh, if you just would, especially if it's a simple one, relatively simple one, I think, gosh, if you just would have contacted me the day you got that letter or the very next day, we probably could have gotten the response in on the original deadline or before. And then you would be out of this, a month or months sooner on the other end of the process, which can drag on for a while because the boards get backed up and so forth. Mm-hmm. And especially if it's not that serious, sometimes it gets sort of backburnered because they have more serious ones. And so getting on things early, getting on things sooner rather than later would be sort of my last piece of advice.
Yes, it is so crucial to find an attorney before any of this happens. If you can find an attorney who can do compliance consulting, legal auditing, hey, does everything look good? Am I at risk for a complaint? Is the way that I'm doing my client contracts in compliance with the board?
Mm-hmm.
That prevention is so much more affordable and so much less traumatic than the defense. That concludes this segment of Healthcare Pros Charting Texas. We'll continue to release clips every Friday at noon, so be sure to follow along and stay up to date. Remember, when your license is your livelihood, knowledge and the right lawyer are powerful.
Know Your Regulator, the podcast that inspires you to engage.